farmers. Today we are excited to be coming to you from Windcrest Farm in Masvingo North in Zimbabwe, where we are seeing a beautiful establishment of SC 555 green mealies, which was established this season. So as you can see here, this green mealie crop is looking very healthy, lush green, and it's insect damaged free with no weeds on the ground, as you can see and appreciate. We want to talk about the importance of green mealie production as a business. So with green mealie production, some of the benefits include the fact that with green mealies, you are selling by the dozen. You are selling the number of cobs. So usually it will range, the price will range from $1.50 to $3 depending on the selling window. So if you are going to produce say 3,000 to 3,500 dozens, imagine, and you are selling at about $2 to $3, it means your return is quite high and the profitability is also quite high. We are seeing that the farmers who are investing in green mealie production are getting at least $2 to $3 per dollar invested, which is a profitable, lucrative venture indeed. The green mealie story needs to be also guided by the agroecological region, where we are saying there are some areas that are frost-free. So for those areas that include Masvingo, where we have some pockets that do not get very low heat units in winter, they can actually choose to grow green mealies. And their varieties of choice include SC 555, a very early maturing variety. And we also have SC 659, 657 in the 600 series varieties, or Oshumba. Then we have Wevhu, in which we find the 727 and 719. Those ones will give an extra large and long cob. But we have a yellow maize variety as well, 608, which can also be established as a green mealie and for silage production. So we implore on our farmers, when they are thinking of green mealies, whether you are in a frost-free area, this is the window for you to be planting the green mealies. Here in Masvingo, where we are at Windcrest Farm, at Mr. Mukumba's farm, we are seeing that they are already leading from the front. But if you are in an area which is prone to frost, then you need to wait. It's just 2 months. In that period, you are preparing for your inputs for planting mid-August up to end of August. You can then start planting your green mealies after the frost window, so that you are the earliest on the market. Because with green mealies, it's also a supply and demand dynamic, where you need to go into the market when the supply is low and also the demand is high. So you can only achieve that by making sure that you are timing your planting window the right way. So this is a green mealie crop, SC 555, a blockbuster early maturing variety in the seedco stable, and also highlighted are the other varieties that you can select. And yes, it does start with the right seed, but of course coupled with good agronomic practices. If a field is insect damaged and has a lot of weeds, you run the risk of incurring serious losses. Now look at the cobs that are forming. As you can see, this crop here is at the pollination stage, where we are seeing that the pollen is coming there from the tassel onto these silks that are here. So you are seeing that the silks have a yellowish color over them, a yellowish cloudy color which is there, which is to say the pollen is coming from the tassel onto the silk. So this stage is referred to as the pollen silk synchronization, and it's a critical stage that needs to coincide with ideal temperatures. When it's cold, the frost will affect the pollen silk synchronization stage. So this is what can also result in lower yield during winter. And then we are seeing that the cob is starting to form, and you can see that it's already setting. It's quite a large sized cob, and it's going to fill up and have a higher return to the farmer. So these are some of the nuggets that you need to understand. Of course, when you are growing green mealies, you need to treat the seed with a seed dressing, so that the risk of you getting maize streak virus is reduced. Why? Because when you plant green mealies, it's usually off season, and there's a lot of vegetation, extra residual grass on the edges of the field that might harbor problematic insect pests like leaf hoppers, which those green little leaf hoppers that can come in and introduce the maize streak virus onto the crop. That is why you see on the crops that are usually on the edges of the field, you see those discoloration or those strips, those maize, those white strips on the maize and the stunted plant. It's because the leaf hoppers will have brought that virus on. So if you put a seed dressing, you protect yourself from that. And you also need to have hygiene around all the blocks that you're establishing your crops. If your crop is clean, then the risk of insect and disease pressure is also reduced, because you are not harboring some insects or some weeds that are going to bring in problematic diseases onto your crop. So this is a seed 555, a seedco blockbuster. Lipano vari kumasvingo vadotungamira kare, vadodyara chibage chavo chinyoro. Dona i555 iri pano, manjenjenje, mbizi, ganda revasikana. Imbeu iyi ye555 imbeu yakanaka zvikuru. Zvichida uri kufunga kuti ndingangodyara chibage chinyoro chekuti nditengese nemiguri, nekuda kwokuti uri kuda kuwana mari yakawanda, wadiwa dyara 555. Unewo zviri pano vamukumba veku Windcrest Farm kumasvingo North vadozvidyarira mbeu yavo yadove muzhira kuinda kuti vagadzirire kuwana goho guru. Tiri kuda kukurukura nhau yekurimwa kwembeu yegreen mealies. Mbeu yegreen mealies yakanaka nekuda kwokuti murimi anotengesa nekuwanda kweupi dzaanenge awana kana kuti miguri yaanenge awana. Isu tiri kuona kuti kana ukarima zvemhando yepamusoro uchirima green mealies unogona kuwana miguri inogona kusvika kana 3000 kana 3500 madazeni. Chifungai kuti kana ukachitengesa dazeni rimwe chete nemari iri pakati $50 kusvika ku$3 unowana mari yakawanda zvakadini. Paongororo yatakaita takaona kuti varimi vechibage chinyoro vanogona kuwana mari muhomwe mushure menge vaisa dhora, vanogona kuwana madhora 2 kana 3 padhora rega rega ravanenge vaisa. Zvoreva kuti ibhizimusi rinobhadhara kana muchinge marima zvakanaka. Chakakosha kuziva kuti kumusika chakawanda here chibage. Nguva yekuti ndidyare ndeipi inotendera kuti ndizoenda kumusika ndonotengesa chibage chisati chawandisa. Ipapo ndikada kupa kurudziro yekuti nguva yekudyara green mealies tichitarira nyika yese yeZimbabwe inenge iri kubva panguva yese yekunenge kusina chando, kureva kuti tinenge tichingonjenga chete nguva ine chando kune vaya vane nharaunda dzinorova chando zvakanyanya. Asi kana muri sekuno kumasvingo kwekuti pano nepapo ukadzika kuchirezi mwenezi imo mumasvingo macho kune dzimwe nzvimbo dzisingarovi chando zvakanyanya, ndiyo nguva yacho yekuti mudyare green mealies. Tinenge tichingohwaisu tese kwatinenge tafamba vachiti aiwa ndambodzika kumasvingo kunotenga chibage chinyoro, nekuda kwokuti mune mukana wekushandisa kudziya kwekunze kunenge kuripo munguva yechando kuti mudyare chibage chinyoro chegreen mealies. Takatarisa chibage chinyoro chegreen mealies, mhando yechibage chamunogona kusarudza kune iyo imbizi yatataura nezvayo, manjenjenje, ganda revasikana 555 nekuda kwokuti ine upi yakakura uye inotapira. Tochiti zvakare tine shumba, tinenge tine 659, 657 ne665, asi tine shumba tsvuku kana kuti yellow maize inonzi 608. Tochiti zvakare tine 719 ne727. Iyoyoyo inenge iri zhou, nekuti ukarima zhou upi racho unogona kutogura katatu kupa vana, nekuti inenge yakakura yakasvika chero pamusika inomhanyirwa zvakanyanya. Ndidzo dzimwe dzemhando dzembeu dzamunogona kuwana kubva kuseedco. Tiri mumasvingo muno, mvura iriko, madhamu arimo, fashamu akazara. Ko muri kutadza nei kurima mbeu dzinokupai pundutso? Green mealies iripo, chibage chiripo ichi cheseedco. Rimai neseedco, mutande zhara. Chokwadi neseedco, aiwa zhara yanya. Tiri ku Windcrest Farm kwava mukumba kumasvingo North muZimbabwe.